Good afternoon, everybody. I'm not going to give you a lecture. Please don't be afraid. After lunch and everything, I will try to be as brief as possible, as entertaining as possible to keep you awake and alive. The first thing I was asked to do very kindly from the European Commission, is not part of my presentation, is to ask some ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, I don't know who is a lady and who is a gentleman from the names, to go outside and meet Mr. Michael Bush from the European Commission. So please let me announce the names and please excuse me if I announce them wrongly. Bekic, Betanovskaya, Bespalov, Hasatrian, Kusevich, and Mateskovic. If you heard your name, please go outside and meet with Michael Bush now, because I understand that he's not going to be here forever. So I'm coming back to my presentation. It's a very big pleasure to be back in Poland, in Warsaw. I was here in 2009, and I was very happy that Agnieszka invited me to come again, even if the weather is actually, for me, a little bit too cold. Well, you know, in Greece, we still have nice weather. Still, we have nice weather. This, we still have. Let's see. I'm going to show you a couple of things that we did in Greece to approach young kids, or younger kids, but also older kids, mostly primary school kids and kids going into the first high school grades. Maybe some of these things you will see will help you create similar approaches in your country, although Poland has always been a role model for us, we have to admit. We don't understand Polish, but we very many times go to the Polish website and check what you are doing around here. Well, maybe one day I can even understand Polish. You never know. So we found out last year that we were a little bit behind of the kids. So we decided to do an online survey and ask the educators what is happening in our country. And it's a pity we hadn't done this before, because what we got, it was very interesting and sometimes very shocking for us, and not only for us, actually for everybody. We found that in kindergarten in Greece, already 2 out of 10 kids are using the internet, which is actually not so bad. We believe, as Greek Safer Internet Center, but I believe also as InSafe, our network, that the kids should go into the technology very quickly and very early, because then you can set rules. Only then you can set rules, and you can tell them that if they don't obey the rules, there are consequences. If you get an older kids, it's not so easy anymore to set rules. This number climbs really to 1 out of 2 in many kindergartens, but the shocking thing is this. 1 out of 100 kids in kindergarten age have a mobile phone and a social profile. And you can understand, it's not the kid that is opening this social networking profile. It's probably a parent who is so happy to have this beautiful daughter or this fantastic 3-4-year-old son who is, of course, the smartest kid in the block, and we have to put him on Facebook. That's alarming. In primary school level, this climbs really high. It's 46% using the internet, so the educators say. 36% have already a mobile phone, and we have asked why. And the educators say because the parents want to know where their kids are. So we as center said, my God, they're at school. Where can the kids be? In the morning, they are at school. But okay, it's only us. The parents would like to call the kid, where are you? At school, 4, 5-year, 7, 8-year-old kid. 15% have a social networking profile. This is actually Facebook, and you heard in the morning that it's actually above 13. Well, and this climbs really up to 50%. And when we showed this to educators in Greece, they said these numbers are very low. Actually, when we go to the 5th and 6th grade, this climbs up to 80 or 90%. So we're talking here about kids 10, 11 years of age who have Facebook profiles. And why do they have Facebook profiles? Because the other kids have. Because why shouldn't I have my 13-year-old guy has, who is also in the same room with me at house? Why should he go on Facebook and not me? They don't understand the safety issues because nobody ever told them that there are safety issues. Not even us, parents, or not even educators. So, actually, it's not a secret, but I thought I would write it one more time, that online safety, actually every safety issue, can be taught very effectively from very young age, and of course, through education. May it be how to cross the street, how to swim, how to use electricity, or how to go online. It's yet another tool. It's not a game. And every tool has rules. We know that we're not going to put the finger into the socket because maybe we're not going to survive the next minute. But on the other hand, we will not be here having this conversation without electricity. So it's really a powerful tool, the internet. So what we did is, first of all, to think that, okay, we have to help teachers. Because teachers can do multiplier effect activities. Parents, okay, they speak to 1 or 2 kids, maybe 3, some have 4, that's fantastic. But we need to do multiplier effect because we are just a center, we are a couple of people, we cannot run around to all of Greece. We have many islands, you know, it's very difficult to go to the islands, especially in the country when it's winter. Nobody's going to the islands in the winter. Not even the boats are going to the islands when it's winter. We have a crisis, I'm sure you know about that. So we have to do it online. So what we did is to take everything together that we had in different places, but also create more that we didn't have, only for the teachers, and give them a dedicated website that's only for them, where they know that some material they cannot find anywhere else. And this is a motive, of course, so that they can go to this website. So I'm sorry it will only be Greek to you, but I will try as much as possible to explain what you see. So actually, it's a user ID and password protected website, so we can see how many educators are going there. It's good for us. We evaluate ourselves. What are they doing? How many times they're doing what? So we can enhance ourselves. So if we see nobody's checking some flyer, we say, okay, nobody's interested in the flyer, out. So what we have here is, first of all, guides. They are very short guides. I'll show you one guide. For example, it's in an online magazine form. We have put it in online magazine. This is a very short guide for pupils, where you really, you can very easily go and check with the parents. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the page. Oops. Okay, this is the page going like this. I'm sorry, but we have audio for my next session. So you can see here different, very short, actually, advice for the very young kids. And these particular flyers, we have 2 of these flyers, are 16 pages, A5s, 4 A4 pages double-sided, which means that a school can very easily print this flyer and make a booklet out of it. It's cheap. It's very important for primary schools and for public schools who have no money to have something cheap to give to the kids. So 4 A4 pages, you just print them on both sides, you just stamp them and give it to the kids or to the parents. It's very easy to do. We have the same thing we did for Facebook. The Facebook guide is an analytical guide, so it's a bigger thing. It's 48 pages guide. And we tried as much as possible, and we did this, I have to say that, with a very good cooperation with Facebook in Dublin, in Ireland. We tried to give the kids step by step on with the help of the Facebook screens, all safety advice they can get, how they can close their profile, how they can give more safety information in the account so nobody can steal their profile if they are somewhere else. Okay, they have to give a mobile phone, but it's better to give a mobile phone number than have a profile stolen. Okay, how they can check up who is tagging them and say, no, I don't want to be tagged. How they can understand that we have copyright issues here. You cannot just go and upload anything your heart desires if you don't ask the other guys if they want to be on the picture. It's a very important thing that kids have to learn from the very young age. Copyright doesn't mean the right to copy. This one kid told us is what the word says. Right to copy. Copyright. It's not. It's not. We have to teach them that. We also did, for the educators, again, always for the educators, we made a PowerPoint presentation. It's actually a flash presentation that is very interactive, which I'll try to translate as much as possible. So it's very interactive. You see here we have a menu down there, and we have menu here. So we have, for example, private information. So it's privacy in the internet chat room, social networks, credibility of information. So the educator can just click. He immediately sees how many screens has this information. So this is 1 out of 2. So about credibility, I have 2 slides to talk about. And in this way, he can create a very specific presentation for a very specific audience without our help. Doesn't need us anymore. We have given him in 88 slides all the information he or she needs. We also created web seminars. Web seminars are getting more and more sexy, not only for educators, but also for the wider public. And webinars are very good because you can see even somebody talking to you. And we have uploaded our webinars, of course, on YouTube. Where else? So webinars is another form of distributing our work, but also of showing, for example, this is about internet
παρέχοντας υποστήριξη και συμβουλές για θέματα που σχετίζονται με τη χρήση του διαδικτύου, του κινητού τηλεφώνου και των ηλεκτρονικών παιχνιδιών, όπως παρενόχληση, Γίνεται από εξειδικευμένους παιδοψυχολόγους σε θέματα χρήσης και κατάχρησης του διαδικτύου και λειτουργεί στη μονάδα εφηβικής υγείας.
For the younger kids, we have created the Safer Internet Island. Is an island of pirates, of course, and sharks and everything your heart desires. So it's an island where not everything is safe. And we gave them, after they have gone into the island and they have read our advice, we made 4 flash games. You have 2 lives in this game. So if you make 2 questions wrong, you lose the 2 lives. Bye-bye, you can start again. So this is about Netiquette, and this is the rules of the game. So for example, it says here that you have been receiving a video that you were waiting, sorry. So each time you go to high five and check what is there, and they send you some video which actually shouldn't be sent what you're doing. So you have to say, okay, I shouted and I say something, or actually the guy shouldn't send it to me. So it's something that the kids need to think. It's not an easy answer. It's not an easy answer. So here you gave the wrong answer, so you see the boo, and you get the information what should have been done right. We have also created from the InSafe network the eSafety Kit. Maybe you have heard about the eSafety Kit. It's an online guide that gives also young kids lots of information. Maybe it's even in Polish, as you can see here, so I can understand that many of you, some of you, have already used the eSafety guide. We have done it also in Greek, and it's a fantastic tool for kids to play games and to go for quizzes. If you haven't used it, I can only recommend it to you. Use it. It's really a great tool. So we have done all this. We gave also the educators some more sophisticated games for older kids. Here you see a crossword, a puzzle that you have to fill in to find another word that comes out after you have filled the puzzle. And this games the kids like very much. Because it's not only about a teacher talking, and the kids probably playing underneath the table with their mobile phone. It's something that the kids really love. But we went one step further. We saw that, as you saw also in the research, that more and more younger kids use the internet, even maybe before they start to understand things, to write or to go to school. So what we decided to do is this, a children's book. This is a fairy tale book. It's 128 pages illustrated. You can see it here, even if it's only Greek, you can see it if you want. And we decided that this is really a very easy way to approach very young kids, but also the parents who are illiterate. So actually, the parents read the book first, and then they give it to the kids. We have checked that. We have 5 illustrated stories that take place in a real farm with animals. And every story tackles one very important issue. Every story has one very important issue, but 2 very crucial rules come all the time, again and again, back in the stories. And first is privacy protection, and the second, which we believe is very important, is considering that online friends will always be strangers. If you don't know them in the real world, online friends are just acquaintances. They cannot be friends. Very difficult. When you have critical thinking, yes, maybe you can become friends with an online person, but you never know who is on the other side of the cable. Even if he or she sends you a picture, it can be a fake picture. So all this information we bring in this book with metaphors. So we tackle emails from strangers and publication of personal information in online quizzes. Kids love online quizzes, and they don't think before starting to give out the personal information. And sometimes they end up giving also mobile phones, and you have these premium services you have heard. Meeting with strangers we know only in the online world and publication of personal photos on the internet. Racism on the internet. And information credibility online. We have heard about information credibility in the morning. Identification of the approaching strategies strangers and pedophiles are using. They are very specific approaches the pedophiles are using. 3, 4 steps. The kids should know them. And cyberbullying and defamation, publishing photos of others, ethical use of the internet, and positive use of the internet. Because the internet has fantastic things if you know how to use it, if you really know informatics. Not just go and clickety, upload some pictures on the net. This doesn't make you an informatics literate. This just makes you a connectedly addicted guy on the internet. Facebook, YouTube, download. You know nothing about technology. Our heroes, 2 kids, it's not the kids that make the bad things. The kids are the heroes. They know how to protect, and that's the good part of the stories, because the kids, when they get the book, they don't feel guilty. The animals do actually the bad things, and the kids teach them online and proper behavior with the help with an owl, who is the teacher, it's an owl, and a dog, who is a trusted friend or the parent, a protection. As I said in the beginning, this book goes also to parents and educators. And for that, we gave them, at the end of a story, a section, let's see what we learned. And of course, we have given them also, if you go the other side of the book, the answers to the questions. So the parents can become first a little bit smarter than the kids and check. Actually, the parents don't pass the test. That's very interesting. When they do the test, they don't pass. They don't know themselves. So what we did further is to make a theatrical performance out of the book. We contacted the children's theatrical group, and it's a mobile theater, and we created an interactive theatrical performance that is playing in schools or in public places. Sometimes is with a very low ticket when they go to schools, but most of the times is with the help of sponsors in big places, malls, in exhibition places like today and tomorrow. We have this in Greece, and next Saturday again. And they play, and kids can go with their parents and really not only passively watch a theatrical performance, but be part of the theatrical performance and play with all these animals that do the nasty things, sing, and even tell the animals what they have done wrong. That's all I wanted to tell you. I'm open for anything, any questions, and I thank you very much for your attention.
That was the lecture. Now the time for you to ask questions. Raise your hand, please. Anybody who'd like to ask a question? Oh, there is a question.
Theater performance for children, actors or children? Who prepares the theater performance for children? Is it actors or children or school children or students?
They are professional actors who are doing only theatrical performances for kids, children's theatrical performances. So they are trained to, pedagogically trained also, to deal with very young kids and to stimulate very young kids.
Thank you very much. I have noticed that Veronica is extremely involved in the safety of kids online. I would like to ask you, Veronica, how is it financed? I mean, all those activities, are you based on voluntariat? I mean, because, for example, those actors you've mentioned, they have to be somehow trained and they have to make a living, don't they? I mean, educators, well, they are paid by the schools, but nevertheless, they have to be trained for this particular subject. So how does your country deal with it?
It's not the country dealing with it, it's us dealing with it. The theatrical group is a group of very enthusiastic people. They took the book, we gave them the permission to take the book. We are two writers of this book, me and another very good colleague of mine who is a doctor, medical doctor, and he's in the helpline. So he knows all these things about pedophiles and all that stuff. And they said that they're going to create the performance on their own. So they really funded the project on their own, like we funded the project on the book. And when they go to schools, you have to take something from each kid, very little. And we are in the SIG all the time for sponsors, like big companies, who are very interested, trust me, very interested to this theatrical performance. We are overwhelmed by companies knocking at our door. When can we have it in our premises, or to give it if retail companies? We have retail companies, and they want to give, for example, they make a week of filtering software next week in Greece, and they want that the parents go and listen to safety in their premises in a big mall. So this is the way that we are currently financing this project and hope to finance it in the future.
There is one more question. As I understand, all that is that online, right? So my question is, what is our key? How can we in Poland use that? I mean, in our work with small children in Poland, how can we use it? Was it just, you know, boasting with what you have done, or is there an indication for us what we could do? Because I'm not sure.
Okay, everything that is online is always open to the Polish Safer Internet Center in the framework of the InSafe network to take it and adapt it in Polish. So everything that you see online has been created in the Safer Internet framework and program, and it's where it's co-funded by 75%. The other 25% we find by sponsoring money in Greece. This is all open. The book is at the moment in Greece in the stores. We are at the moment seeking for translating the book in many languages because there is extensive interest in taking the book out of Greece. Maybe somebody in Poland would like to do that. But this is not online yet. Maybe it will be online, but not at the moment. We found out in Greece that children, small children, and especially parents, want to have a book in their hands. Because also in Greece, it's very important that it's not everything online. To read a book, even in the year 2012, it's something that has its romance, and it's something that never, ever die. It's terrible when I see kids in the summer, during the summer, and we have a very long summer in Greece, going to swim, and instead of having a fantastic book in their hands to read, they have a Game Boy. I find this unacceptable, even if I'm a computer scientist. This should not be. Thank you.